Morning, and it's a Sunday morning, and this morning I'm going to be taking the seat off. I'm going to be lifting the tank up, and I'm going to be changing the spark plugs and the air filter, and then I'm going to do an oil change and an oil filter. So a basic service on my GSXR. I can't see the other bolt. There it is, miles away. As you've possibly seen in a previous video, I've just done my levers, changed them for beautiful shorty levers. Right, that's the seat off. Two bolts off at the front there. I think they're the same. Yeah, same size. Yeah, so you haven't seen the video on the shorty levers. These beautiful things here. Go and have a look for it, because I probably won't put a link above like normal YouTubers do. Right, so I want the airbox out of the way so I can get to the spark plugs, and for that I need to undo. There's 4 screws. There's one of them. See that? Yeah. Phillips heads, one on each intake. All 4 need undoing, and then you can lift this off. And then you've got a breather pipe at the back and some gubbins the other side. But I'll undo them first with my extra long screwdriver bit. Move you over. That's those 2. I'll just go around the other side and do the other 2. That's those 2 undone. I'm going to take the breather pipe off the back. Like that. Oh, the modules come loose. Should be a screw in the side there to hold that on there, but there's not. Is it in there? Oh. Nope. Had a bit of a search. I can't find it. I'll take the airbox off and see if that gives me a bit more vision down in. Anyway, breather's off. What else do we want? We've got a 10mm nut at the front that wants to be taken off. It's just up in there, 10mm. And there's a washer on that, so we don't want to lose that. Go over there with the rest of the gubbins, and then I think it's around the other side now. There's the whatever this is called. I don't know whether it's airflow or something monitor, but if that's not connected, you'll get an F1 light. Not an F1 light like your Rossi. That doesn't even make sense. Shut up, you fool. Get some pliers. And then there's a breather pipe right next to it. I don't quite know how these clips work. Anyway, so that's the airbox, which should now be free to come out, I think. Any more? No, that's it. There you go. Now we've got the proper gubbins going on, where all the action happens. Just to get that airbox out of the way. Over there. Right. Check the pipes. I think that's the pair system there. Yeah, just check the pipes. I mean, if they're corroded or corroded, the rubber pipes, you doofus. But yeah, any cracks or anything are obviously going to lead to leaks. Not spring onions. But they all look fine. They're all quite flexible. None of them gone rock hard. So next bit is to start taking these coil packs off and change my plugs. Just have another look for that screw, just in case. No, couldn't find the screw for that sensor on the airbox. Right, so what I do, because I'm so special, is one at a time. Just because the lady can. Just because really that, hang on, just getting all my spanners ready. Swap one over, you know where your coil pack's going back in, and as I say, you would struggle to put them in the wrong ones because of the wiring and the way the wiring's held down and everything. You would struggle. There you go, that's one of the new ones I put in, which looks gorgeous. But I'm putting in my new NGK Iridium IX, and the code for these is CR9E1X EIX, stock number 3521. 4 of them, and I'm pretty sure you don't gap Iridium plugs. They are preset. What's not preset is the fact that you don't need the nodule on the end, which is on a little bit tight. There you go. Then take that off, or else your coil pack won't fit. Put that in there the right way round now. And as I say, I'm pretty sure you don't gap Iridium plugs. Hit me in the comments if you know different. But what you'll generally find is plugs are pretty much spot on for the gap you want, in my experience. And then that's bedded, and then just a little pinch, nothing special, because you don't want it seizing in there. And then coil pack back on. That didn't feel right. there you go, you'll get that the clicking as the coil pack goes down the thread on the top of the spark plug, and just keep going till you can't go no more. That's what she said. And again, looking good. No meltdown. We've left the old caps on, and they're usually just finger tight. I don't know why these ones are tight. Because they're not on loose, that's why. Again, just give that a quick check. Looks good. There is a separation between the electrodes. So awkward with you sat there. And again, that's bottomed out, and a little nip just to hold it in place. And again, you can check your seal as well if you want. It's your bike. I'm checking mine. Not big, the biggest of checks, but the seal's all intact, and it's still got movement, so it hasn't gone crusty or bit brittle, and there's no sort of bad signs of debris around the top, or water or anything, or water ingress. And again, just hear that push down on. There you go. Didn't like to come out. Not a lot of free wire on that one, but those two there, when I had problems with the bike when I first got it running rough, I got the heat gun from work, stuck it across the exhaust headers, and found that number 4 wasn't getting as hot as the rest. Oh, that's come undone. So yeah, that gap looks a bit big, but apart from that, the plugs look alright. Yeah, so I bought some plugs from Halfords, which was the only place that was open the evening I did it, and they only had 3 of the plugs that I needed. So out of those 3, I'd swapped 4 for 3 and run the bike again, and then 3, the header on number 3 wasn't getting very hot. Well, not as hot as the rest. So I deduced the only thing that was different was the plug, so needed new plugs. And as I say, went to Halfords, they only had 3 of what I wanted, and I came back and I changed the first 2, the 2 that I'd messed around with, and I left the other 2 knowing I was getting these iridium plugs later on to do a service. So that's probably why. I'm going to pull that one, which should give me a little bit more room on this. As I say, because of the wiring, it'd be very difficult. I'm going to prove myself wrong now. It's possible. That's coil number 1, that's coil number 2, but it is definitely possible to get number 1 in number 2. Not so possible to get the other way around. So it would be difficult. This is always the awkward one because you have the cables in the way at the top. Throttle cables. Yeah, so it is indeed possible, but I think you'd struggle to actually get the coil packs on the wrong plugs. Right, let's just push some cables out of the way a bit. better. Plug number 1. Yeah, they're not too bad. So realistically, it was just number 3 that looked as though they might have had a bit of wear on it. But I'm not 100% sure of the history of the bike. And having got it and it was running rough, just for peace of mind, I want to give it this basic service of plugs, air filter, oil filter and oil. So I've got a base point to start with. Although I've been running it to and fro work and having a whale of a time, which is exactly what you're meant to do. Right, so that's all them on. There you go, that's it going down on the threads. Right, they're all on. Let's see if it'll fire up. I don't think it will, because this sensor's not in the air filter. It doesn't like it. Yeah, see, straight away it's showing F1. No, we fired. Just that one was a bit doobry going in, but firing up. It's always a little bit lumpy at first. You have to pull the choke lever. It's not actually a choke lever though, is it? I think it cuts off the air supply of the lower. Right. Or does it give you a bit of extra throttle? I don't really know. It looks like a choke. In old days it would have been a choke. Anyway, airbox can go back on. Now the plugs are done. And then I'll open that up and put a filter in it. So before I put the airbox back on, I'm going to change the air filter. Where are you? Get in there. There it goes. So you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws to undo. There you go, that's that off. And yes, there's no filter in there. This was the one that was in there, K&M filter, but as I've said previously, I was having rough running problems, and one of the first things I did was take the air filter out and see if it ran any better with that out, and it didn't. The one that's going back in is a high flow, and I know I can clean that K&N and oil it up, but I don't want to. For what little extra it offers, especially such a mediocre rider as myself, I won't bother. So I'm putting a high flow filter in, which is a HFA 3908 high flow filter. Right, new air filter in. Now to put the airbox back in the bike. Okay, putting the airbox back in is just a reversal of taking it off, really. Well, exactly. What I have done is on these screws here is wound them off to the maximum, so these boots will slip on your top of your throttle bodies easier, hopefully. Let's just have a look, make sure I've not left any tools or anything in there now. So that would be hilarious. Right, that's all them on. So now back to, oh, let's put them pipes on first. You got the pipe. That's that on, and then you got your airflow sensor. I might have just made that up on there, and then I've already put the crankcase breather on. So now let's do these screws up. And I found and immediately lost again. Oh, there it is. A little bolt to hold my sensor on. See how long this one lasts. So it goes in there. Holds that on there beautifully. What's that look like? 8mm. Right, so all that's left now is drop the tank down, 2 bolts at the front, and then put the seat back on. Just make sure nothing's pinching or biting or doing stuff it shouldn't. Oh, nearly forgot. Want the 10mm on there first. Right. Yeah, nearly forgot that. But I didn't, that's the main thing. And then 2 bolts and washers. To hold the tank down. Only had a ratchet. So all that's left, put the seat on. A bit like that. There it is. Air filter and spark plugs changed on my GSXR 600. As I say, if you want to see oil change and everything on it, I say and everything, oil change and oil filter change, depending on when you watch this video, I'll have already uploaded it or I'll be going to upload it. Just start that up, make sure it runs with its nice new plugs. Beautiful. Try out my new lever. Not with my side stand down. Rookie mistake. Bloody amateur. That looks alright. Beautiful. Right, I think the clutch lever's in the right, clutch lever's in the right place now. Well, it's in the right place. Whether it's at the right tension and span, I'll find out when I ride it. That was, again, previous video fitted shorty levers. But there you go. As I say, next job on this is oil and oil filter. If you're interested in that, subscribe or search for it, because it might already be out there. There you go. And it definitely needs a clean. Disgusting. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you again. Ta-ra.